Welcome back. It is 6:22 on your Wednesday morning. About 500,000 Americans are diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, but many people go undiagnosed or are misdiagnosed, with experts thinking that as many as 1 million people actually do have the disease. Parkinson's affects the brain, which can start with balance and movement issues to completely impacting the ability to just walk and talk. And there's currently no cure. That's why we really want to talk about this. April is Parkinson's Disease Awareness Month. And joining us in studio is Todd Morrish. He is on the board of PreActive. We also have Dr. Katrina Long, an assistant professor at San Jose State University and an occupational therapy practitioner. Dr. Long, a lot to get to with the research you're doing. But first, Todd, with PreActive, that's a nonprofit here in the Bay Area, really aiming to help people, give them activities who have Parkinson's disease. But you can also speak very personally on this experience.
Yeah, I can. So I was diagnosed in 2017 at the age of 54. And
that must have been very frightening to get that news.
It was pretty shocking, I would say, for sure. You go through the usual hurdles of denial and bitterness and anger, and then you end up settling on what's best for you in terms of a lifestyle.
And what did that process look like for you?
Well, it took I did a lot of research, thank goodness for the web, right? It's got a lot of data on things like this. And so that's how I found PreActive in the East Bay.
Yeah. And staying active has been really important to you.
Hugely. I mean, exercise is medicine is the mantra in PD land. So that's where Dr. Long comes in really handy for a lot of us.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I wanted to have both of you in here together to talk about that. Dr. Long, your research is really focused on tying exercise with Parkinson's disease. So tell us more about what you're looking at with your research.
Sure. So research shows that exercise is essential for Parkinson's disease, in particular aerobic exercise. And we all know it's easier said than done, right? So making that exercise behavior change can sometimes be a challenge. So my research project is looking at helping people create that behavior change, that role shift from being a passive patient to an active participant, like Todd is such a great example of.
And with your research, this is what I find really interesting about this. While doing it, you found that there was a gap actually with certain populations and being able to find all those answers for how it affects people differently. So tell us who's not really represented with the research that you've been able to find.
Sure. So in this literature, we're trying to get an increase in representation from certain communities, such as the Black and Latinx communities. It's really important to have them represented because we want our research findings to be transferable to the greater population.
Which really makes up everyone who's impacted by it. So how does this affect when we're looking for research and solutions to helping people impacted by Parkinson's?
Well, essentially with this research project is we're trying to find a way to help people who have been recently diagnosed create a routine and a habit and a lifestyle that can ultimately create a lifestyle conditioning to offset the disease progression. We know with aerobic exercise it can affect the brain and having this neuroprotective, neurorestorative response, and that can offset their symptom progression. And
how can people get involved in the research?
Sure. So you can look me up at drkatlong.com.
Okay.
That's DRKAT Long, LONG.com. And there's a bunch of information there about the study and how they can get involved.
And I got the QR code as well. I'm going to be posting that on my Facebook and Instagram in just a moment. So that makes it really easy for you to find that information. And really quick before we go, have you really noticed a difference in how your lifestyle is by adding that kind of activity?
Oh, for sure. I mean, the exercise is key. They say, and Dr. Long can speak to this, 6 days a week, 40 minutes a day, and it keeps the dopamine coursing through your body much more normally, and you feel much closer to normal.
Yeah, and that's so important. And I mean, exercise is so important for all of us anyways.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Todd Morrish and Dr. Katrina Long, thank you so much for coming in and sharing this really important information. Please look into that research if this is something affecting you or someone in your family. It can really make a big difference. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is 6:26.